Hey folks, welcome back to HeartGold vs. Crystal. We are here in New Bark Town. We just took care of the Elite Four and Champion, and now we have the entire post-game in front of us. And that's going to be a whole bundle of fun. Our first step before taking on the post-game, however, is to check in with Professor Elm again, because he has our ticket to the post-game. Completely literally, actually. He has a ticket to a ship. That will take us to Kanto. Now, we did get a little sneak peek of Kanto when we went over to the Indigo Plateau for the Pokemon League, because that is technically part of Kanto, but a very, very small part of it. Anyway, you may remember from way back, however many episodes ago, that Olivine City had a pier with a ship that docks and goes places. And that is our destination, because that ship will take us over to the designated port town of Kanto, and that will allow us on our way. But before that, we have Professor Oak here to greet us once again. This is something that basically started, I think, in the third generation games, is something called National Mode for the Pokedex. Basically, it became illogical and irrational to have all the numbered Pokemon listed in the Pokedex from the get-go. So, eventually, once you beat the game, you'll get your Pokedex upgraded to National Mode, which will expand the Pokedex numbers so you can actually see all of them, even those that you probably would have no reason to find at any point during the normal course of your play. And of course, in this game there are 493 Pokemon, so that's a lot. Anyway, getting on to a cruise ship is reminiscent of a section early on in the original games. Original as in red, blue, green, yellow, where you would go onto the S.S., which is a slightly fancier cruise liner. I think this is more of a fast travel ship, but it's still pretty snazzy. And essentially, for now, you're stuck on here until you resolve this plot thread here. This is a grandpa dude, and he has a granddaughter lady, who is currently lost, and we will need to find her in order to get off this crazy thing. It's not too hard. It's not a very big ship. But overall, much like the S.S. in the originals, this is essentially a whole bunch of trainers hanging out on a ship, waiting to fight because they're restless. And it's just a little opportunity to get some levels. In the S.S., however, it was optional grinding, basically. You could skip by most of the trainers. Here, well, there are fewer trainers and the grinding is less necessary. So it's just kind of there for the sake of being there. Anyway, double battle here, showing off the two of the version exclusives from Gold and Silver, HeartGold, Soul Silver. And actually the most interesting pair, because in the original Japanese release of Gold and Silver, Teddy Ursa was a Silver exclusive and Phanpy was a Gold exclusive, but those were for some reason reversed for the American release. And now, with the release of the remakes, they have decided to preserve the Japanese exclusivity for both regions. Why was it changed in the first place? I haven't the foggiest idea. But that's probably the most interesting thing about these two Pokemon, as of right now. They are unevolved, so yeah, not going to pose any threats. I think overall the Pokemon here are a higher level than they were in the originals. That's kind of par for the course, but you dealt with level 50 Dragonites like a few minutes ago in the game, so I don't expect that a level 39 Phanpy is going to be too difficult. So yeah, you can kind of just run around the ship looking for the granddaughter lady, fighting trainers, and eventually you'll exhaust all the things to do. It's not exactly a labyrinth here. You do actually have your own room. I don't remember which room it is, but if you are feeling run down, don't have enough energy, your Pokemon are all fainted because you're ridiculously underleveled or something, then you can heal and get up your strength. They're not trapping you with no escape and no chance of revival. That would be unfair. There's a seasick guy barfing into a trash can. I think he's sort of a reference to the originals where the captain was seasick, but that was funny, and this is just kind of the thing. I don't know. Anyway, side quest number 2, which is necessary for the completion of side quest number 1, is finding a lost sailor. But before we do that, we have this sailor to take care of, who is interesting solely because he has our first instance of a national Pokedex Pokemon. This is Makuhita. He is native to the Hoenn region, which is the region from Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and the inevitable remakes that as of yet have not been announced or named. And he's a base evolution fighting type. He's pretty good, but he's not going to pose any threats right now. Obviously he wasn't in the original Gold Silver Crystal because he didn't exist at the time. And this begins a trend, actually, of many of the minor trainers throughout Kanto having Hoenn Pokemon or occasionally Sinnoh Pokemon to expand your horizons, get you interested in these other games. It's all a marketing ploy, I swear. And for the most part, I'll be showing all of those. I might miss some, I might omit some because they're redundant. But if I run into them and I deem them worthy, they will most likely be shown off. Anyway, somewhere around here, there is a lazy-boned sailor who does not want to get to work, and he'll probably cause the ship to crash somehow. There he is. And yeah, he'll fight you with like a fighting type or something, I don't even know, I don't even care. He's weak, he's peas. Really, there aren't enough trainers here to be a good source of experience, and they're not difficult enough to be challenging. So I would overall recommend just kind of ignoring most of the trainers here. Anyway, this is the engine room. I don't know why, like, average passengers or small children are allowed here, but there you go. I'll admit I haven't really been on too many cruise liners. Maybe that's part of the course. And here is the captain's cabin. And here is a small granddaughter child lady. And now she's hidden. I don't think she hid in the original games. I don't remember her doing that. But essentially, now you just have to run around and find her, just like you found the sailor. Luckily, she's not very good at hiding, so she's right over there. But it is sort of out of the way, I guess. And that resolves the lost granddaughter subplot. I know you all were on the edges of your seats. And the grandpa dude will give you the metal coat. And the metal coat is a hold item that I don't think has any practical purpose in battle, but certain Pokemon that are traded with it will evolve to their next form. The ones I remember off the top of my head are Onix, who evolves into Steelix, and Scyther, who evolves into Scizor. I don't think there are any more. I have a terrible memory for that kind of thing. But those are the two that were introduced in the Gold and Silver games, so whatever, it's relevant. Anyway, now we are in Vermilion City, Kanto's wonderful port town. And this is where our journey in the Kanto League begins. And I will see you guys next time for the first gym.